Well, hello everyone. I'm saying hello right now, and it's saying live. It's saying there's a live announcement. Hey, we're live! Yay! Oh, I love how when technology works. Yay! Okay, so hello, my gorgeous, wonderful, fabulous queens. I'm hoping that your Monday evenings, your Sunday evening slash Monday morning, wherever you are in this world, is absolutely fabulous and that you are well and happy and loved and all the rest of it. And I am with my absolutely beloved and wonderful Kelly Jones. And I have been following, I was telling Kelly, I have been following her. The universe sort of brought me to her back in June. And I have been following Kelly and listening to her intuitive spiritual coaching and her intuitive readings and taking from the little nuggets, the little reminders from the universe of my inner spirit nature that is already crystal clear and perfect and wonderful as is designed to be. But we forget sometimes. And so having little prompts and little reminders from the people around us is really an important part of the journey, because we do get a bit stuck in our thinking and we forget. And Kelly has been one of these little lights in my environment, illuminating me along the way. And I love her dearly for it. And I just thought, inspired, listening to one of her talks recently, readings recently, I thought, yes, I need to bring her here. We've just done our Love Fiercely challenge. We did that I guess it's been 2 weeks. God, time goes by. And from that, I thought I wanted to follow the Love Fiercely challenge with a bit of a divine love reading, a little bit of a taste, a little bit of a reminder. And that is why I just reached out to Kelly and said, you're in the group, please come, please share your gifts and give us some inspiration, please. So I'm going to hand it over to Kelly, my love. Can you please tell us a bit more about you and everything? Oh, and everyone who's watching, I can see 3 people watching. I want comments. I want love. We want the hearts. We want the love. We want the comments. So please fire things up and ask questions along the way and let us know you're alive, please.
Yes, please
Yes.
don't be shy. It's a sacred space here.
Yeah.
So, hello, everybody. I am so honored and so pleased to be here with you all. My name is Kelly, and I am with Divinely Love Readings or Divinely Loved by You. I love Divinely Loved by You because it's really about us learning how to divinely love ourselves. So that's one of the reasons why I love that for my products and stuff, because I'm all about the self-care, self-love, and self-healing, especially when it comes to us women. We just don't do that enough. And we take on so many responsibilities, speaking from my own, between trying to run the household and take care of everyone else, that we a lot of times lose ourselves within that. And for me, my journey, oh my gosh, I mean, like I probably could, I could probably write a series of books on
And we'd
my
all
life.
watch it with bated breath, I'm sure. But
But
what
as a
led you here?
child, I had these gifts, and at the time I didn't know what they were. I would actually see and hear, and I inherited from my granny, my great grandmother, and she would tell me, people won't understand, keep it on the wrap. So I did that, and I grew up just like most of us, not really happy or fulfilled. I always looked outside myself for validation and media, right? And limited beliefs that we've been taught growing up. And, never thought I was good enough. Didn't know how to love myself, didn't know how to care for myself. And I definitely didn't know how to heal myself. And one day I just pretty much was like, you know what? Enough is enough. I had it was like the last crappy relationship. And, I had children, and I as a single mom, still was, because you have to, what I didn't realize at the time was that when I'm looking outside myself for love through someone else, it couldn't come to me because that's not how the universe works. It had to all start within me. So, but in that time, I went through this dark night of the soul, which is kind of like the worst thing, Everyone's been there in some point of your evolution. And it was like everything was hitting me. My kids were having issues. My son was depressed and had anxiety. My other son was behavioral. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? And all this stuff. And that's when I had my massive reawakening. They call it like a Kundalini awakening, where I literally felt waves of love like break me down. And that's the only way I can describe it. It just felt like waves. And I was like, wow, what is going on? And it just opened all the floodgates up. I'm walking to people, I'm on the street, and the stranger's like, I'm sorry, you don't know me, but I have this message for you and I have to tell you. So like all these where I was astroplaning at night, like, oh, I was like, what is going on? So I always grew up, I call it Christ consciousness now, after what, you know, how, what I call it understanding instead of understanding. From my understanding, you know, I say, yes, if you consider that a Christian, I am Christ conscious, because I believe in the principles that Christ believed in, or Yeshua, right? So I grew up in church, you know, did all the things that we're supposed to do, you know, all the services, and I was member, I did, you know, the nurses guild and all the, you know, daycare, all the extras. And I got really disappointed. I had it was some event, something happened, and I was like, whoa, even my church family is like you think it's different world. You're like, oh no, it's gonna be so lovely and so peaceful. And then you forget like, oh, we're all here for a reason, because we're looking for something, right? To fix us. But, you know, but not knowing that God starts here, right? Because of course, you know, Yeshua loves us, right? God loves us, source loves us, whatever you want to call it, divine loves us. So speeding up all this, I started working with, I just needed answers. I wanted to know where, you know, what's going on. So I started doing research. First, you know, I did research just different religions, and I was like, oh, I always knew like there's one source, but it's just different ways of worshiping. But I was, in my mind, I thought I had to do it in a religious way. But then I soon realized it's really everything. Source is expandable. A source is, you know, like there's no, you know, time, no limits, right? On what divine has and does and can do, right? So why am I putting myself in a box when it comes to, you know, my spirituality or my beliefs? So with that, I started utilizing the tarot, and I would just do it for myself and friends and family. And once I learned that it was just really a beautiful tool, it was a tool for me to connect with source, take these gifts that I was like really confused, like how to really work them, and was able to get confirmation through the cards on what I was experiencing. So that has how tarot has helped me along the way. and all the messages and everything else that I get
that
from
you do, which is just so fabulous.
my angels and spirit guides and everything. So
do you can you see a connection, like can you see a distinction between the various tools that are out there? Like basically what I'm saying is a lot of us can get very caught up in the tool itself, and thinking that the power is in the tool, instead of realizing that it is just a reminder of the spirit that is already in us.
Yes.
And in fact, we, with an awareness of the spirit, the tools themselves are, the tools themselves are not the source. They're not the power.
Right. Yes, I totally.
They're just a reflection of what's already within our spirit and divine.
And, I mean, we even have scientific proof of that. For instance, like if you're familiar with what's Dr. Morimoto, I think I pronounced that, with the water. You know, he spoke beautiful things into water, like the crystal crystallized beautifully, right? But you speak negative into your water, then it was like gooky, and so like we have to know that what we speak, what we think, how we feel, you know, it is, you know, we are magic. We create these things. We are manifestors. So if you speak good things into your water and you drink that, knowing that we are 70% water, then you have to envision what kind of effect would that have on us, right? So it's about knowing that being mindful of what you think and say, and just knowing that, you know, the tools, which are awesome, because I'm all, you know, I love me some crystals. I'm a sucker for some crystals, okay? So,
Yeah. Well, we are energy. I mean, I think the key is here is that we have God, we have the divine source, we have God, the universe, God created universe. We are spirit beings. We are all, it's all energy. We
yes,
are like this
yes.
as energy, as the energetically speaking. What's kind of interesting from where I work with the inside out paradigm perspective is it's the awareness that we can get stuck in our ego thinking that is sufficient. We don't actually control the thinking or the thought. Thought happens. It again, it's part of the source. We have thought. Emotions arise from thought. We don't have to get caught up in changing the thought. It's just awareness of it is sufficient for it to release, to allow access to the ever-present spirit in the present moment. That's kind of where I work from these days. And what I love is that because we forget, we get stuck. I love all the various reminders in whatever form they come in, be it readings with you, be it meditation, be it yoga, be it dancing, be it music, but understanding that the power is not in those things. It's just that they serve as a reminder of what's already there.
The aha moments.
The aha moment. Yeah. And in fact, we can and do, and I do have those aha moments without having to do something first. And I love that. That was the epiphany for me, actually, over the years of decades of various esoteric paths, was the understanding that the aha moment arises from within. And when you feel, as you said, when you feel it, that love arising within, however you want to again frame that, but that love, that openness, that vibrancy, that radiance, that just it's nectar. It's the taste of nectar when that happens. It's so beautiful.
And then it, like, what has to coincide with all of that is like, now we have to learn how to protect our energy, right? How to balance everything out and stay grounded, right? And stay present, you know, within it, you know, within day to day. Because for me, you know, what happens to me is I'll be like working through something, and I'll tell everybody, like, this is what I've been working through. And then all of a sudden, like, it's like spirit takes me through things so I can come out and be like, okay, guys, look, this is what happened. I know you understand. This is what we're all going through. This is the lesson that was meant to come. But my best, like, advice that I heard that someone told me, who also is a reader, and says, when you pray for these enlightenment moments, right, to also ask for mercy and grace within the lessons. Yes. So that you don't have to go through the trouble, right? Through the, you know, through the challenges.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like,
I pray for patience.
Yeah. You know, I want the lesson, but can you please let me see it through someone else, right? Let me observe it and I promise that I will receive it, and I will move forward from there, right?
Yeah.
So
it took a while to figure out that. Yeah, get your prayers right. No, and it's absolutely. Because if you I know as a Sufi, there's a saying, certainly within that framework, the understanding that if you pray to God for patience, you'll get trials. Because that's the testing ground for patience. So don't pray for patience.
And then what we don't understand is that, you know, we ask for these things.
Yeah. Oh, I've lost sound. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
I'm back. I'm back. Okay.
Yay, we're back. Yay!
My internet, you have to forgive me. I don't know why. It's always like weird. energy. That's all I can call it. So I was saying was, we get, then we're like, why? What happened? Why are we? And it's like, we have to understand how universal law works. What we ask for is what we get back, you know, and it's about really being, mindful in how we think and how we speak. And it's really about keeping our vibrations high. And when you have, and not being hard on ourselves, and balance is everything. It's the key to receive, to give in equal, especially for us women. That's why I'm all about the self-care, the self-love, and the self-healing, because we are so hard on ourselves, and we're doing everything for everybody, and then we don't take care of ourselves.
No.
And it's the most important thing, is taking care of yourself, so then that way you learn to love yourself, because we've been told for so long we're not enough, right? We look at
absolutely.
Family, why aren't you married yet, or why, why or we are these things on the outside, but we're really pretending, because what we really want on the inside, our passions and dreams, we're not fulfilling them, because we're concerned about people are going to think, outside of ourselves.
That's the biggest one. That's the big, when I think the biggest suffering we have is when we ignore our spirit wisdom. When we suppress it and trying to so our inner spirit is saying, don't do this, or do this, be more, and we squash it down with our ego thinking, trying to rationalize over the top of it, and see, our ego thinking, it's fear. Ego is fear because it separates us from our innate spirit. We are spirit beings. We are made of stars. We are the same energy of the universe. We have the divine spark within us. We are spirit, and it's just that our physical form and the way our brain works, we forget that. We lose sight of that. And not sight as in here, but experiential sight. And so everything so for me, it's beautiful. Self-love now is not about conditional ego love. It's all these little things that I do, or things that I remove from my life that get in the way of reminding me of my spirit. Because my spirit is love. That's my true self. That is the love.
Right?
Yeah.
That's where asking yourself those questions. How is this beneficial to my soul? How is this person beneficial to me? Right? And it's not selfish. That's what we get a lot, I hear like a lot of, my clients, they feel bad for wanting to take care of themselves. And I'm like, it's not selfish to, to want to take time for you. Now, who's the selfish one is the person who's asking you to stop taking care of yourself to do for them.
And to not listen, because one thing is, it backfires on them as well, because when you do take that moment out to allow for yourself in that present moment to hear and connect with your innate spirit wisdom that is eternal, that is there at all times, is that you will show up differently. When you show up from that space, you will show up for that person in a different way, in a way that is expansive and radiant and vibrant, and it is actually vibrating from unconditional love. You show up more fully in the present, so that everyone around you benefits, including yourself, when you give yourself the permission. Because at the end of the day, it's the willingness. It's not a doing. It's just a willingness to be open to what is already there within you.
Yes.
And we have a society that just tells us that. Well, we have a society that basically has us so in our head and worrying about the story in our head. It doesn't. It takes quite a great deal of a bit of effort initially to get to the awareness. But once you have that understanding, it's effortless. And I love that.
And what I teach is, and what was really, Spirit gives me these lessons, and I'm like, oh, okay, was an aha moment for me, excuse me, when it came with fear, right? Fear, word, anxiety, it's all the same to me. So it's like what they taught me we talk about staying in the present. It's so important to stay present. The fear only sets in, or worry or anxiety, is when it's either we're stuck in the past.
Okay, with the wind.
What
Yeah,
happened? What held us back?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
what didn't work out, right?
yeah, yeah.
Or we're stuck in the future thinking about what if this happens? How about this? You know, this could happen. And then we're worried, now we're fearful, now we're anxious. But realizing that, you know what? We never know what's gonna happen.
No,
But
only
what
God
we
knows what
do
will
know
happen.
is that everything
Yeah,
always happens in our favor
yes,
and always for our
love it.
benefit,
Yes.
you know, always. So it's like being conscious of that and bringing that to the forefront and be like, okay, let me stay here in the present. If I, you know, if I'm going, you know, one day at a time, like I would say, 1 minute at a time.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
one step at a time. Like be patient, be
yeah.
compassionate to yourself, you know, give yourself a break. You deserve it, you know,
Yeah, I know.
like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's so important. It's like 1 hour, you know, and in that time, do what you love, whatever that may be.
that.
You
Yeah,
know, whatever in that moment brings you joy, you know. And if you don't know what it is in that moment, then, you know, then a lot of times it's like, okay, what do I do? Let's raise that vibration. Do something that you would normally do. Just
mm,
do it. Just do it.
mm.
Like go dance. Go dance.
Check it
You
out,
know,
check it
and
out.
put
You
your
know,
foot in
yeah,
the water.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
just act silly and just release. You know, because a lot of time we're
yeah.
so pent up on, you know, and so like, and then we go meditate and they're like, okay, but at the same time we can do there's other forms of meditation too, things
There
like,
are, yes,
you know.
absolutely. You don't, and meditation does not necessarily have to mean that you're sitting in a lotus position, trying to chase away the thoughts that are happening in your head. Because it's not about that actually. It's about letting the thoughts float around and not getting attached to them. But that may be a step too far at that present. So walking meditation,
Yeah, sometimes
you
I
know,
get my
yeah.
best downloads when I'm driving my car.
For me,
Or decent,
washing up by hand. If you're just
yeah,
washing up, I love it. You know,
it's
you just
always something
completely
when you're
zone out.
doing, yeah, when you're doing something that's like where you don't think in the process. It just
Well, this
comes
is being
natural.
present. If you're in the flow
Mhm,
moment, and it doesn't
mhm,
really matter what the thing is. It's more the how you're in it. And so, if you're just doing something, as you say, you're just doing it, and you're not thinking about it, but you're just doing. That's
mhm.
allowing for spirit, and the spirit is it's just there. It's the spirit is always there, and the spirit is from the spirit that our wisdom arises, and the solutions. We don't have to think about our solutions, and I love that. All
And
our
that's where
worry comes
intuition
from this
comes in,
false
right?
idea that we are the ones that create the answers. We don't create the answers.
Mhm.
And once
We
you
just
let
keep
that one
guiding.
go, oh my God, it's brilliant. Because, like, you know,
And that's where intuition comes in
yes,
too. You
yes,
know, that whole like trusting your knowing. It's that primalness, to be
yep,
honest. It's that primal, like knowing, like that
yep,
same, like for us that are mothers out there, you know, that same instinct that you have when it comes to your child.
yep,
You know,
yep,
it's tapping into that. It really is. And just
yes.
trusting that and
Oh,
trusting that knowing, like when you know something, you know it. And this is how you know when it's ego from your intuition
yep,
is if there's judgment of any kind of yourself or others or
yep,
judgment, or if there's negative feelings in it, then
yep,
that's totally ego, because your
yep,
ego is all about that fight or flight. And it's like, oh, you back me in that corner, I'm coming out swinging kind of thing, you know?
yeah.
So, but your higher self, which is your intuition, is never going to steer you wrong.
It's
It's
just
not
a
going to be
peaceful knowing.
judgmental
It's,
at all.
yeah, yeah.
And you know, and it's always going to be for your higher good. So it's just learning how to trust that. And once you release and surrender and trust that and just go with what feels right and feels good to you, you know, as long
Yeah.
as you're not hurting anyone.
And this is
then we're
because the universe, God, the universe, God's created universe, everything is in harmony with unconditional love. The
yeah.
energy is unconditional love. So absolutely, without a doubt, we are not saying be a psychopath and do something that, oh, but I like killing people. We're not saying that. So don't get us wrong. We're not saying that at all. In fact, that would definitely be ego, because the nature of spirit is one of unconditional love. So it is in harmony with the benefit, the giving and the love of the universe around us. So you know that you're steered right when you're going in that direction.
Mhm.
Oh my God, she's shuffling the cards. Yay!
Do you have any, you know, we're gonna get some cards going.
We're going to get so is anyone, so if anyone is here, anyone here comment, okay, I think I'm in the wrong spot. I was looking at a disembodied live stream, and now I'm looking back into the group and see is anyone commenting. Hello people, this is the phone, trying to find you. And if people are watching, commenting, leave a question.
It's all love and
Oh, there
light.
are 4 comments. Sorry, people, for ignoring comments. I was not looking in the right area. Tracy, hello.
Hi,
Hello,
Tracy.
Tanya.
Hi.
It's midnight. She's popped in to say hello. I knew there was a reason I was still awake. Oh, I'm glad, Tracy. Ask a question. We have to be very clear. Tanya is saying absolutely we do.
Mm-hmm.
There is a bit of a pause, obviously, between me and the computer in here, but that's cool. So keep question here. There's the phone. Keep dropping love thingies and comments. Ask a question, but I will open it up to Kelly to start the reading.
Okay, so I just want to say a little prayer for us. Okay, it says, going forth, we promise to be easy on ourselves and to stand in our truth. That abundance and prosperity, happiness, success, and health is our birthright. That we are loved and that we give and receive in balance, that which aligns with our higher self. That we leave her focus, once we leave her focus on a positive and optimistic side of life and of circumstances, and that we promise to release that which doesn't align with our purpose, and that we will focus on our happiness and have faith in the universe that is working at all times for our higher good. And so it is.
Amen.
Amen.
Cool. Amen. So anyone who has a comment or a question, put the comments in there. But I think maybe it will be easier if, Kelly, you just kind of do a general reading rather than waiting for people to ask.
For the collective, we'll definitely hone the energy and see what's going on. I like to always start off with some oracle cards, and kind of gives me an idea of where spirit. Now I channel my higher self, my spirit guides, my guardians, my angels, ancestors are just all love and light. I only allow in positive, high vibrating energy. And if I'm doing a reading for someone else, then I will channel their guardians, their guides, their angels, So we're gonna see. Well, I do like
Tracy and Tanya are still watching. Hello, amen from Tracy. Beautiful prayer from Tanya.
Nice.
Fabulous.
Oh, you're so excited. Okay, pull it back a little bit, my screen. Okay, so the first card that we got out was it's Rihannan. It's for sorceress. It says, you are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality. So it's like, know your power, know your magic. Literally, we are made of the same things the stars are made out of, just standing your truth and in your power. You are magic. Know that. Okay. Now let's see what messages they have for us. And then I want to clear everything, but I also want to make sure that we do an explanation. And for those who want to know their crystals that suit them, we can do those as well. And some self-care cards too. It's like what,
love a self-care card. Yes.
Concentrate on as far as our self-care, because that's important, because it all boils down to love, right? And then we can also pull some cards too from the angel deck. Lovely. And then it tells what angels too you're working with. Okay. All right. So we got the Page of Cups, the Six of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. Lovely. So the Page of Cups is all about, can you see it? I don't know if there's a glare, but
yep.
The Page of Cups is like, this is like that new beginning in this like spirituality, in this joy within the bliss, right? A new way of like how you've been doing it as far as when it comes to love, right? Love of self, love of others. It's just a new beginning and perspective in that. And then the Six of Swords is here. So this is about, moving forward mentally, away and towards things that do serve you and away from what doesn't, right? So it's about, and I could talk about some, actually physically moving as well. You could be going to a new home or even a new position or work or, yeah, but definitely making some moves for sure. And then the Queen of Pentacles here, which she is all about, the nurturing, the divine feminine within. Pentacles is all about what happens here on our physical earth, right? How we walk our walk, how we, talk, how we handle the world. So this is about knowing that you are abundant and prosperous within who you are, in that core of you is that divine feminine. Okay. And that, and abundance is yours to claim. And on the back, we have the Queen of Wands, which I love the Queen of Wands. She's probably one of my favorite queens because she's that fire, right? She's that, take, no prisoners, no nonsense. She's always going to stand in her truth, standing for what she believes in, and fueled by that fire within her. Okay? It's on the backside, so that's lovely. So this is the energy that we are tapping in. So it's like the spirit divine is telling us to, like, yes, stand in those powers. You're gonna have some new beginnings and things, and that's good. We all need a new beginning and a new challenger. I was
because avoid new beginnings. They happen regardless of whether we want them or not. So we must be open to the fact that we are spirit and we have that divine spark, and that it's all good, instead of getting fearful about it.
Yeah, challenges are just opportunity for growth.
Yeah.
And it's about being a friend of the unknown, okay? Because we got the Five of Cups here, and the Five of Cups is like about really talks about like us being like mindful and thankful, right? Not worried about the things that didn't work out the way we think they should or way we, perceive them to be. It's really about learning like the lesson within it and knowing that whatever it is, it's for our benefit in the long run. But it's about, in the meantime, it's about the gratitude for where you're at now, right? Now, not where you've been or where you're going or what you used to be or what you used to have. It's like seeing the small things. So what I know is, in order to get, like, everyone wants the big things out of life, right?
Yeah.
But first you have to appreciate and receive the small things before you can receive the big things, because the universe is like, are you ready? I don't know. You didn't take that, that little
that lovely little ray of sunshine at that moment.
That knitted shawl that your aunt gave you that you really didn't want it, but you should have just took it anyway.
Yeah. No, it is amazing how often we say heartfully say no to things. That's fear.
And a lot of times we say no because we want to call ourselves being polite, right?
Oh,
I don't want anybody to know. I don't want to, And like, no, receive that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that opportunity. I love it. There was a walking meditation around that I absolutely love. Did you say yes to everything for a day? I mean, obviously, if someone's asking you to murder someone, say no. We are saying within the, okay, please, people. but
it's beneficial, as long as it's beneficial.
If it's
That's funny. And then on the back side is actually the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups energy is all about like family. It could be talking of like childhood, dealing with your own children, having like living in the past, right? Doing things from like, it can relate to like maybe like inner child healing. Like I always say, we all have to do inner child work. There's nobody out here that hasn't had some type of trauma from when they were a child. Not to say that, you were abused or anything like that, but just to be told, where I come from, it was like, you should be seen but not heard, and if you do, you're like, oh, you get yelled at, and that actually affects you. And it's no fault to our parents or their parents. This is just what they knew and what they were taught. And that's how they survived, right? So once we know these things, it's about realize, that we can fix this, that we can love on our little self, and that's a part of that self-care. is really, healing those wounds from when we were young, all the way up until, that teenage self that did that stupid stuff that she did. And we're going to forgive her.
Yeah,
We're going to leave away the 20-something-year-old us that was just a hot mess.
We're still doing it. The thing is, the compassion for and forgiveness for self and others comes from the reality that we struggle through life with a misunderstanding of where our emotions come from. We think that it's the outside world. We are told so-and-so made you feel this, your parents made you this, your job's making you feel that, your husband or wife is making you feel whatever. And that's not the truth. It's our thinking about those things. And our thinking, we're humans, our thinking is limited. We make incorrect conclusions based on, we make decisions about the intentions of others that is not possible. We don't know. So someone may have done something in our life that might have been unpleasant, but we've attributed the reasoning for that generally as they're either evil and or there was something wrong with us and that's why they did it.
Yes, we
and it's not the truth. It just is what it is, and you let it go and you see the incorrect conclusions and you just release them with forgiveness of self and others.
Yes, in reality, you have to, what we don't never wrap our heads around is the fact that they have their own journey.
Yeah,
they're going through
they've got their own reality.
They're going through their own things. So when in reality, it has nothing to do with us.
No,
it's really all about them, and that it's all just a reflection because we're really all one. So it's just a reflection. We're just reflecting stuff off of each other. And we've
got Tanya and Tracy saying yes, they need to be yes girls more. Yes. Yes to the good stuff. Absolutely.
Yes to yourself.
Yes. Which is the good stuff. It's your spirit. It's your spirit is your spirit. When I've moved away, funnily enough, I've moved away from using terms like broken and healing in a sense, because our innate inner wisdom, our spirit is not broken. It never was broken. It does not need healing. It's just that we didn't realize have insight. We didn't. It's not a realize as in understand. Oh God, I need to plug. Keep talking. I'm going to plug this battery in. I'm moving away from the camera, girls. I'm going to let this reading go while I plug in the.
You gotta go pull. Okay, so I also got the 9 of Wands. So the 9 of Wands is all that about that fire energy, those things that fuel our soul. And the 9 is like, it talks about, standing up for what you believe in, standing up for your truth, right? Empowering yourself. That's what it's all about.
Wow.
It's so important. Standing your truth.
Those cards, by the way, they're fabulous.
Aren't they beautiful? Look, I'm going to tell you.
Beautiful.
They're the light sorcerers, and you see that deck?
Wow.
I want this deck so bad that I actually bought 2 of them and didn't realize that I bought 2 of them.
Oh, no, they're really pretty. They're very pretty.
Aren't they pretty? And I like how eclectic they are and how culture, it's just like different culture. I love that.
Yeah, no, it's lovely.
So we have judgment here. So judgment is about the divine coming in and like swooping in and helping us, bringing in our guardians, our angels. They're here to help you. You just have to ask them to call them in. Yep. They can't help unless you ask. And they cannot help unless you take those first steps too.
Yeah.
Rules.
Yep.
But this is like rising you like the phoenix out of the ashes. So anything that you're going through or any kind of despair or worry, it's like, here you are. Source is coming in and relieving you, and like you're becoming anew, which is beautiful. I love that. And that is on the backside of that 9 of Swords. That 9 of Wands with that 6 of Swords. So remember that 6 of Swords is talking about making moves, moving forward, moving away from the things that don't serve us, into standing into our beliefs, standing into our truths. And because of that, we will be like the phoenix will come out those ashes, anew, right? Let's see what's going on. We have the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is all about, standing in your divine feminine, knowing that abundance and prosperity is yours. It is your birthright. Yeah. On this earth, how you walk, how you talk, it's all, it's yours to claim.
It's already there.
Yes,
and it already is. Yeah. And
where we block it is when we get in this lack mentality. We have these things where we're taught that we don't have enough. As kids, you're like, we don't have enough for that. And you're like, so you hang on to these things and you think you don't have enough, but no, money is just energy. You have more than enough.
Yeah.
it's it's infinity. Okay. We got the Page of Wands with that, and with the King of Wands. So with that Queen, we talking about the Page. The Page is all about that new beginning. So this is the
Mm,
beginning
mm.
that those things that fuel your soul, right?
Yep.
We want to be like that Queen. So this is like that young version. This is the beginning of those belief systems, those things that we
Mm,
stand up for, those fires, our passions, our
mm.
dreams. Okay. And then the King of Swords is here, very logical, right? And
Yep.
this is that divine masculine, but this is the divine masculine energy of like, go get it. Like standing in your power, speaking your truth, okay, and being your authentic self. And then we have the lovers on the backside. Now, for the lovers, for me, you could talk about relationships, but
Yeah.
when it comes down to it, for me, it's always about what's at your core, and it's all about the love of self. It's about that balancing out that ego, and that higher self, that
Yep.
shadow side and that light, okay? That divine feminine and the divine masculine, okay? It's all about the balance. It's so important. And that's why I always say you're perfectly imperfect.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful, you know?
Yeah. Yes. Here we are. Yeah,
Yeah.
we are. It is. It's just the way it is.
Yes,
You know?
totally. I have another pretty deck too. I'm gonna just
Oh, yes, I know. I loved how you said in your reading the other day in your group. Yes, I've got all these cards, all these.
I'm a
Okay,
sucker for decks and crystals. I am. I really am. But I think I wear my crystals are more like jewelry wise, like because I like to wear them. And I mean I have plenty around the house, but I definitely
yeah.
okay. So yes. So, okay, we have the Four of Coins. So the Four of Coins talks about stability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is about knowing that you being stable within who you are, like who you are, how you walk, how you talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your representation of your body, right? Of who you are on this earth. Being stable, you have nothing to worry about. You're secure in everything when it comes to finances and all of that. And it's about really getting away from having like kind of like a I don't want to say the spirit, like they're saying like hoarding, but I don't really call it hoarding.
No,
Like
because when we grasp
yeah,
and
we're like grasp, like yeah, it's like that grasping.
that because the more you do that, the well, you're not in
Push
tune
it
with
away.
the flow.
Hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
And then we have a
We don't have
hermit.
to worry. We don't. Yeah, exactly. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but the more you give, the more you receive.
Yeah, yes, most definitely.
You
That
know.
is so true. And then the hermit is here. And then also what ties into that too is about getting within. The hermit is all about going within, right?
Yeah.
Being quiet with yourself, knowing that there is going to be this darkness that's going to be around you in life, these challenges, these obstacles. But it's about that light, right? Because
Yeah.
you have to have both. You cannot just have it all light and then you'll be blind and you can't see where you're going, right?
That's
You
for
have it
the
all dark.
afterlife. The all bright. That's heaven. That ain't this life. This life is the tests and trials.
Right?
But
People who
having the lantern of God, the being in having it's our spirit, our God-given spirit is God that illuminates this path of this physical world that is one of change and impermanence and loss. That is just it is what it is.
yeah, but it's about you walking, like not being mindful in the dark while you're walking in the light.
No,
Being
you've got
mindful
the
of the
light.
light,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Kind of having that tunnel vision and just staying on the course and walking the journey and knowing that you have divine with you the whole
Oh,
way.
that's the lantern. That's
Yeah, just yeah,
absolutely,
right with you, right by your side, helping you guide you through it. And
absolutely.
then we have the Wheel of Fate. Okay. So the Wheel of Fate is all about, things coming full circle. We talk about this is like seasons. It's like knowing that it's everything's gonna always come full circle, right?
Yeah,
They're giving me a vision of a wave. So when things are at their worst, we're on an ocean wave, we're that wave, it's so rough, right?
yeah,
But when it
yeah,
comes down, and then when we're in it at the top, right? We're in
yeah,
it.
yeah,
As it starts to come down, it starts to subside, right? It always subsides.
yeah,
And then it comes to the shore, right? And then it's like, oh, yeah. So it's
yeah.
always going to subside. But know that fate is also based on how we perceive.
Yes.
how we manifest. You know, if you continue to look outside yourself, then things are going to continue to be hard. But
Yeah.
if you learn how to look within yourself and do the work and love yourself and care for yourself, I promise, because I know, because I've,
Get out of the way of what's already
yeah,
there.
definitely, you got to get out your
Get
own
out of
way.
the way of what's already there. I mean, our spirit doesn't need work; it's already there. It's just that we kind of, we block our access to what is already there,
Yes.
which is just, really, at the end of the day, is what the I love that tide analogy. I use that tide analogy as the in and out of the ebb and flow of the tide as a descriptor for how our psyche works. Thoughts flow in and out, like because there's a lot of talk out there that we've got to control our thoughts, we've got to stop thoughts, or you can't stop the tide. The wave comes in, the wave goes out. Thoughts come in, they go out, and
Yeah.
that's,
Isn't it all relevant? Isn't it all
love it,
connected? It's
love
all
it.
connected. It's
It
all
is,
relevant.
of course it's all, because it's
Like
spirit.
how the seasons change. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
we change as the seasons. Just
yeah.
like, the tree loses its leaves in the fall. It colors and loses in the fall into the winter, but comes back, right? It's all a cycle, and we're all
It
on
is.
the same cycle. That's what we know.
Our heartbeat is on. I mean, like it is. I know. It's. I love these realizations. They're so fabulous. Beautiful card. So what's this card?
This is the Four of Cups. This is a reminder that, divine has gifts for us.
Yeah.
It's about receiving, right? We talked about that. It's about being open to receive the gifts.
Yeah.
And you have to realize that the gifts are there. And a lot of times the gifts come within the challenges.
I was going to say, yes, we always think gifts, because as a Sufi, as a Muslim Sufi, there's a prayer that they say, to suggest that you say called an istikhara prayer, a prayer that you're praying, you're making God show me the way, guide me the way. If this thing is for me, bring it to me. If it's not, then take it away. And the problem is you can make the mistake of thinking, well, if it's good looking and wrapped like with a pretty bow, like a present, then it's meant, and that it's meant, and you don't realize that it's the challenge as well. It could come in a lump of coal, and that's still a good thing, because you needed that lump of coal. Not everything is going to be a sweet box of chocolates.
Really, what it is that source is going to meet you where you're at.
Yeah.
So if you're going through it, like, they're going to meet you with those challenges to bring you out the other end. If you're aligned, with source and what you're doing, then it's going to be smoother. You know what I mean?
Even if the outer situation is still challenging, your experience of the challenge will not be one of suffering when you're aligned.
Once you're aligned, it's like you've been through all that, so you can see the gifts. You notice the gems when they're being dropped. Yeah. And you receive the blessings and the people that are right in your life, because now that's what you attract, because that's who you are. Yeah. I mean, it's simple. We complicate it all, but it's really quite simple.
Yeah, it is. We do overcome. What we do, our ego thinking, our intellectualization, and all the rest of it is what complicates what is actually just naturally, how it is. I love it.
Lovely. And we got the Ace of Wands. So this is like whatever your dreams, whatever your passions are, whatever your goals are, like the divine is here to support you in that. Whatever that thing that makes you happy, because our divine God wants us to truly be happy. The source is all about love, whether it's, tough love or, like love. It's all love, right? Yep. So it's like source is going to meet you where you're at, right? So if those passions, those things that fuel your soul, those things like doing this is my passion. This is what I love. I love to help women discover who they are, to find their love of self, their care of self, because I know what it feels like to not have that for myself. I know what it feels like to be hard on yourself. I know what it feels like to weigh like 350 pounds and put on weight because you're afraid that men are going to look at you a certain way. Or, you've been, because we as women have, in some form of nature, have been looked in a way or touched in a way. So, and we've all had that feeling, of that vulnerable feeling when it, that comes down to that. But it's like, once we learn how to like really, truly care for ourselves, then no one can penetrate us. No one can affect us.
Exactly. And no one can, and that's the truth of it. No one can make us feel anything except that we are thinking it.
Right.
So yeah, it's our
And you know
spirit is divine in
what?
itself. It's
We get
beautiful.
caught up in the fact of the comfortableness of it, right?
Yep.
Of the stuff, the BS, the stuff that's not
Yeah,
working.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
so
yeah.
comfortable because we're so used to it. And it's about getting outside the comfort zone and doing the work so you can get over the hump. And see, here's what the thing is, why people don't do the work is because they're afraid that they're going to lose a part of themselves if they do the work. But in reality, they're going to gain their true selves.
Yeah. I mean, you will lose that ego control. See, the ego likes control.
Mm-hmm.
And the ego likes control because it is fearful, because it is that aspect of consciousness, of awareness that is separate to what is true, our spirit. And so it's trying to do everything. It's trying to tell you all this messaging that you need to control all this stuff around you. And that's not the truth.
Right. And we're getting confirmation from spirit because we just got the sun card. The sun card is the best card in the whole deck.
Is it?
So, yeah, it's like it represents everything you can that you can think of that would ever make you truly happy. All your joy, all your bliss, all that love, right? And then followed behind it is the Ace of Cups or chalices, which is love itself. Just pure love of self, love from the divine. It could be love, romantic
that is
love.
the love. Yeah.
And it's there for all of us. And it's just
it is
principles.
Yeah.
And reprogramming like what we thought or what we perceived. And I'm always big about, you know, when we talk about the self-care, when rituals like pampering yourself, like self-care rituals, doing those loving things for yourself, you know, taking a bath, having a candle by your side, putting in some flower petals and, you know, some bath salts. Because, you know, I have the bath kits because I'm all about.
I love me a smelly bath.
Yeah.
My Epsom salts, absolutely. I think, and the beauty of it is when you know that what the efficacy of these things are. It's not in the thing itself. It's just that it's serving as the reminder of you, accessing what is already within you. You know, we don't need things. We don't need to do anything in the end. But we are still physical beings. We are sensory beings. We are physical beings, and we do have to look after our physical body.
Yes.
Because you know, it can, if we're physically not well and we're physically out of alignment, it can impact our ability to be in the present moment and access our innate wisdom. So it is a whole package thing. So absolutely, anything that works towards eating well, moving with joy.
Yeah.
I love aromatherapy. I love my lovely baths and massages and all these things that really, you know, help the vehicle, the sacred vehicle, the temple that we're in, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got my certification in mindfulness and also life spiritual coaching. So it's like, it's really about the mindful, even with the pain, you know, even that's like where the meditation and stuff, like being mindful of the pain can also alleviate the pain because you're being present.
Absolutely. Because I think the causes of our suffering of physical pain is in the running away from it.
It's dis-ease, you know, like
when we're sort of trying to avoid it, when it's just and scared. It's funny. I've noticed a lot of the time we run around scared and trying to avoid our sensory experiences, our emotional experiences, and it's almost like we're scared of the thought in our head, like as if it's, you know, going to kill us. We're scared of the emotion that arises, and we think that it's coming from outside and not just as a result of the temporary thought. We solidify everything, you know, we think that it's solid and unchangeable, and that's not how it is. Everything changes. Everything, if you stop holding on to crap, it goes away by itself.
And then that's how you get more good things
and
in.
That's where, and then when you're not exactly, and then
in order to receive,
if you're not holding on to crap, then by default, you're in your present moment spirit self. That's just that's the default. It's wonderful to know that our factory setting is actually divine love, and it's beautiful to know to realize that. You know, I love that. Yay!
Yep. And also, I pulled some self-care cards too.
Yes, please.
So they're really big on journaling and gratitude. Okay. So like in my course that I offer, I always ask key questions, right? So it's really about us asking those key questions. Like, for instance, it's like, where do you see yourself if you truly learn how to self-care and love yourself?
Yeah, what does it look like?
Yeah, where do you see yourself? I would love for some of the ladies that where do you see yourself? You know, down the road, or, you know, just in general, like, where do you see your life headed if, you know, you were truly to just come from a place of self-love and self-care? How different would your life be? Those are those questions that we need to think about, and we need to, you know, if we don't have the answer today, knowing that we still asked ourselves the question, that we will receive the answer.
Because the answer arises. We have it. It's there. It's within us already. But it's not from here. The answer arises from the spirit within. A similar question, but it's, in that vein, is the question I ask is, well, if your relationship, that be it spouse or partnered, with your kid, with your grandparents, with your parents, whatever that relationship challenge is that you perceive that you're having, what would your life look like if there was forgiveness within that relationship?
Or how about this one?
You know,
how committed are you to your, you know, yourself, your self-love, your self-care, your healing? How committed are you to being your true, authentic self and standing in your power? And you know, how committed, that's where the one of the real, that's a
willingness. Well, I mean, if the willingness isn't there, nothing can happen, you know.
I'm committed 100% to doing this work. I've taken leaps it's about taking those leaps of faith, right? Doing the things that are out of the ordinary, the things that logically does not make sense, but in your heart it does. You know, this is my mission, this is my purpose, this is what I was meant to do. And it's like you walking and you're walking your walk in your purpose and what you're meant to do. It's like everything just lines up the way it's supposed to.
Because it's the way, it's the path that God has wanted us to walk on. And it's just that we were, you know, up here in our head with the shoulds, what I call fog thinking. It's the fear, the obligation, and the guilt. It's the thinking that clouds. Clouds our experience, because it's all that shoulds. I should be doing this. I must be doing that. All the expectation crap.
And realize you're going to get tested from time to time.
It's okay. You don't have to worry about that.
Source just wants to make sure you're still checked in. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I mean,
you didn't backtrack on me. It's still there.
Well, but I mean, the physical world is one, as we keep saying, it's cycles. It's beginnings and endings. But by nature, beginnings and endings that are not necessarily negative. It's how we think about it. You know?
And they're also
what it is.
So journaling, what you're grateful for, meditation. That's self-care they want us to work on. Make sure we're creating a list of gratitude, writing down the things.
I love my gratitude.
But what you're thankful for, you know, saying, you know, write a gratitude list.
And if you really don't think there is anything to be grateful for, just start with you're alive. You have eyes, you can taste something, you can smell something, you know. And
then that brings me to the other part of it. They told me is that they're like, okay, do one side of like challenges, right? Things that you have challenges right now. And then down the middle, put on the other side, how can you make this challenge an opportunity for growth?
Flip the switch. Flip the story.
How can you turn it around so it is an opportunity for growth? And it's okay if you don't know the answer right away. It's okay, but it gives you somewhere to work with, something to start, so that you will get that answer.
And understand the answer is not coming from here. I keep pointing here, people, to the head. It's not, I very much lived by the motto, I think, therefore I am. I have multiple university degrees. I spent my life built around the belief that outcome came from my intellect and what I could conjure up in my thinking. And I'd walk around very much head heavy. It's like, you know, like it fall forward on my forehead, and it's just not where the solutions come from. And so anytime that you feel clogged in your head and heavy in your head and thinky, you just for that moment, you're not in alignment with where the real solution comes from. And the solution is God guided spirit.
And
the outcome is not on your effort. That was the other thing I used to believe. I used to believe that, okay, the result is directly in connection to the actions I took, the efforts I made. And again, the outcome, all we are asked to do is show up in this universe with unconditional love and kindness and to tap into what is already there. But the outcome is not, we don't create. The outcome is not from us. The outcome is from God. That is how it works. But we just need to be open to acts to it when it's
about being grateful and living in service too. Because we're meant to take care of one another. We're supposed to be in service of each other.
Yeah, self-help is actually helping others, and then we help through the helping of others. It
helps me. Like I know that, you know, with the course that I have, that not only am I going to be, you know, teaching others what I know, but they're going to be teaching me. In this, you know, I'm always going to be forever a student, right?
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Oh,
it all comes full circle.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, you've got it's this beautiful state of, I don't know, for me it's a beautiful state of curiosity. Eternally curious, because that is again the nature of our spirit. Our spirit is tapped into this vibrant, radiant energy of the universe. And by its nature, it's renewing. It's I love it. It's this stuff. This is the nice stuff I get passionate about. You know, love it. Thank you so much. Yes. So what are our angels telling us?
Okay, angels are saying, so we got the page of fire, we got the 6 of air again. I think we actually had the page, so they're just kind of like going back over what we already, we had the page of cups, and the page of fire, but the 6 of air is back, and then we have the 3 of water. So the page of fire talks about, you know, being outgoing and creative and confident, and then also being a little mischievous. Like, it's okay, have a little fun, right? And it says it's a news of, like, it says citing new endeavors and about you using your originality and your ingenuity. So this, I feel like those things that you have out there that you're like, I don't know. Yes,
you do know. Yes,
it makes you feel good. It's what you love. Do it.
And there's no competition, even if it looks like what you're passionate about and what your purposes might be, looks like it might be in the same area as someone else. Everyone has their own unique gifts, their own unique perspective, their own unique reality. There is no competition. And that's a big one to let go of, really.
And you're meant to connect with who you're meant to connect with. There's no such thing as a coincidence. It's all about who you're drawn to, who you're meant to connect with. You know? It's already designed and lined up that way.
I love that. Absolutely. Yeah.
And then the 6 of airs that we got again, it talks about things are looking up, saying the ending of a difficult situation. And it talks about, you know, even possibly taking a trip or just doing something outside. You know, we're not really going anywhere here today. Really, like going outside of yourself, in other words. Like, you know what I mean? As far as outside of what you normally would do, the things that, like, to others' perception, or, you know, like what you would do on like a routine. It's like switch it up. You know, they're like, switch it up a little bit. Do something for fun. Do something.
This is a switch up. It's not a lot. What I'm doing with you is a bit of a switch up. I don't think people have various portions of my circle probably don't know me this way. So they get, you know.
See, look at you standing in your truth, Pia. Good for you. And then we also got a celebration. And it talks about, ooh, it could be a wedding, with the three of waters, like graduation, a birth announcement. But it also talks about the need to have more fun. That's really
Yeah.
important. Fun. We are so caught up in everything that's going on in the world. I don't even watch the news. I'm gonna tell you, I'm just
No, nor do I. Nor do I. The
like,
occasional meme that's mocking Trump might go through my news feed, but aside from that, honestly, I haven't been. I don't.
no, it's just
No.
really it's not good
I'm
for
not
anybody.
out on anything. The world could be going to hell in a handbasket out there. I don't know.
Like, I don't know the just like what I get on my phone. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
To be in it, like, no,
Yeah,
like
no.
it doesn't help. It doesn't benefit anything for me to know that, somebody did some old crazy stuff
No.
and people protested and right. Like, I know it. I don't have to be in it to know
In
it.
it. No, no. And all we can do is affect by our hand what is immediately in our reach. And so in that circumstance, we are better to focus on how we can be of service and benefit. What is actually within our hands.
Yes.
The rest, send a prayer on it and let it go. It's not.
So imagine if everyone in the world were really to internalize and concentrate on their self-love and self-care, how much better the world would be.
Oh, I know.
Because we would all be, compassionate towards other people's needs, because we know how we
wouldn't be ego grasping and running away from, or chasing desires to fill holes we perceive are there when they're not, and all that. I know.
That's why I'm so big on this. Like, it's so important. And that's why I ask, like, women, like, okay, like, when are you ready? Like, I'm committed to doing the work.
Yeah.
I'm committed to helping you do the work, but I cannot do the work for you. But I'm committed
exactly
through the process.
Yeah.
And to encourage you and to tell you, look, I've been there. I know. I don't think
done that
scenario out there that a woman has been through that I have not.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm hearing you on that. And I mean, that's, that's again, where relationships reset came about was coming out of 2 abusive marriages, coming out of a difficult relationship with my dad, coming out of the stories I told myself about what that meant about me and my life, stumbling along the way through tools and techniques to try and relieve myself of that, but because I just did not have this fundamental understanding of what my true self was, which is light, which is love, which is God, which is God's divine light within me, all that, because I used the thinking and the framework of I'm broken and I need fixing. It's a lot of what's out there in pop, where I feel like I'm shaking up the relationship space, is because a lot of the talk out there is about being broken and needing fixing. You're not broken. You don't need fixing.
You just got to learn how to stop, reprogram those limited beliefs.
It's just
not stop looking outside
yourself. They're not the truth. You know. And that in the end, our relationships with other people take care of themselves when we are open to our own spirit wisdom, which then, as we say, all these wonderful things that we can do for ourselves to remind ourselves that we are spirit and not ego.
Yeah, it's like you're a spiritual being having a human experience. Be easy with yourself. You signed up for this. You just don't remember.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We that spark of divine in there, and in fact, that's from a Sufi point of view, it's quite interesting. This notion of separation of ego and the fear-based ego thing is indeed connected to we were like this with the source prior to this incarnation, and it's that little taste every so often of wanting to be like that again that our spirit is, but is, while it's in a physical form, it's 1 degree away. We're not going to be like that again with God and the source until we're out of this physical existence. But it's that yearning to connect,
and it's like realizing that energy never dies. Like,
but it's exactly. It's
just this body does, but we live on. And you know, I love it's so crazy because right before the whole thing happened with COVID,
Yeah,
I was so drawn, spirit had me like so drawn to listening to people's testimonies about near-death experiences. And I'm
yeah,
like, why am I like so like like I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go with it. So
yeah.
and then here we go, a few months later, COVID came, and I was like, oh,
Oh, yeah,
okay, this is why you had me researching this and looking into this to this, you know, and I was like, okay, I get it now. Like, so
yeah,
I can help reassure people and also help let people know that it's a state of mind. If you, like we said, we talk about manifesting, if you know, like, I'm not gonna get that. Like I always I tell women, treat your energy like it's your purse, right?
I love
Like
that. Yes, I love that analogy of yours.
like, you know, you're not gonna let anybody mess with your purse. You know, your purse has your life in it, right? The good, the bad, you know, the things you want nobody to see, all those
Yeah,
little nuggets and things tucked away, right? You're like, no. So you have to treat your energy the same way.
yeah,
So you're not gonna let anybody come up to you and take your purse. You can't let anybody snatch your energy either or bring your energy down or anything. So we have to learn how to protect ourselves by like envisioning literally a protective bubble,
mhm.
knowing that the things we think in our vision, it's literally magic. You are magic
We
manifested.
are. We are made
Yeah.
of the universe, and the thing is, people can't. I sort of I love because I hear it in the pop psychology space in a lot of the groups out there talking about how do I stop someone from draining my energy, and the thing is, they're really not. It's you. No one can take from you what without you permitting
No.
that. You know,
Yes.
so they're not taking from you. You've just got a story going on at the moment that they are, because you are caught in your ego thinking and are not tapped into your spirit in the present moment. But when you are, you realize they're just doing what they're doing. People are just doing shit around you. They're caught up in their own troubles, and it's,
Now,
you know.
I do believe there are people out here that really are energy vampires. I mean, I think that there's people that can come in the room and will change the whole frequency of the room based on their energy. We know that.
They can. I guess what I'm feeling is like nothing is greater than God.
Most definitely. Most
So
definitely.
so
But
people
it's
can
about what,
try and do shit, but
yeah,
ultimately it is our thinking on it.
it's about right, what you accept, right? What you
Yeah,
perceive, what you
yeah,
think. If you think
yeah.
it's gonna happen, then that's what
That
it will
will.
be. But if you
Yeah.
know you put your protected bubble and you envision yourself surrounded and that works for you, that works for me, that help, you know,
It's
it,
reminders of spirit. It's
yeah.
they're all reminders of spirit. It's not that you need. I guess the thing is, prior to my understanding of sort of the nature of our psyche, the nature of everything, I would get really caught up
Mhm.
in the tools and techniques. Like I would identify with the tools and techniques, almost superstitious. Like, well, if you don't do this 3 times and say this and walk backwards and do, then everything's going to go to shit. And
But
it's not
you know
how it
why?
works.
You know why? Because it didn't work because you were looking outside yourself to
And
fix
that's
it.
what I mean. It's like
Right.
it's not about the
Mhm.
thing, the tool, the
Right.
person. It's
Right.
not
But
about
when
that.
you do
Yeah,
like self, like envisioning, you know, visualization to manifest, like
yeah,
that is you creating that. So that's within who you are, right? If you
yeah.
assume that, like, you know, if you know that, you know, this day when you woke out of the bed, you're like, oh, you know, I'm not really quite myself. You know, let me be mindful. Let me put on my protective,
Heartful.
you know,
Yeah,
shield because I have to go to
yeah.
the grocery store and I don't want anybody setting me off and messing with my vibration, right? Because people will do that because we are one and we're a reflection of one another. So if I'm having a mood
It's a
and
mood. Well,
I
if you have
come
a
around
mood, you
you
have crappy
and you
thinking, and
already
then
having a mood,
yeah,
we're
and then
attracted to each other's mood.
and yet, but you're bumping off each other's moods. But the minute
Yeah.
you realize, I'm just in a mood,
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. Compassion
Yeah.
for yourself, compassion for everyone else.
Yeah.
It passes. Moods pass like the tide, in and out. Moods pass.
Yes. Yes. And it's
You
okay. And
could
it's just
do
to
something,
recognize it.
but you don't have to do anything for the mood. You don't have to do anything to make the mood pass.
Mhm.
Well, having a bath is nice. Having a massage is nice. Eating an ice cream is nice. These things are nice, but they are not necessary. because
Yeah,
the
it's
mood
just
will pass on its own,
right.
because that's what moods do.
How's everybody out there? Have we checked on anybody? We just been me and you. Let's just chat all. We haven't.
Are we still here? So we've had, I love that, Perfectly Imperfect. I do believe Tracy and Tanya are still watching. Yes, yes. I think they're our main audience. We love you.
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
You all
Okay.
okay? Drop another comment in there if there's anything you want to add. If
We
there's
can't
anything
forget
we've
them.
missed.
You know, we have to make sure we acknowledge them. That we know that
Yeah, we love you for
them,
sticking
we're
through.
here.
Thank you.
I love that. I love that.
So do we want to wrap things up? What do you want to? Yeah.
Okay. I'll wrap things up. So I'll just tell you all a little bit how you can find me at on Facebook at Divine Love Readings. Okay.
We'll put the link above, below, thingy, the video. Yes.
And I'm there. That's the group. Also at Divine Love Tarot 03, divinelovetarot.com.
Yep.
And my email is divinelovetarot03@gmail.com. Yep. But I also have, I'm kicking off this new 7-week course. It's really about transforming your life within the 7 weeks. It's very small, intimate group, 15 women. And we're just really, it's about being committed to really showing up, learning how to see those triggers, right? How to get rid of those limited beliefs, how to stand within your power and who you are, right? And to love yourself for it, and how to, get out of that reprogramming that we've all been put upon us, and how to really love ourselves from within. Beautiful. So yes, so that is my mission in life, is to help as many women who are connected to me. If I'm not the one, that's fine, but I just want
exactly.
to have an opportunity to have this, to feel the way I feel, and to have this connection with their higher self, which ultimately gives you that grander connection with source. Yeah. And so you can actually reach out to me, and I can give you further information about it. It is
absolutely. Drop, I said, have links to things, drop them in the comments, and that way we can access.
And the free workshops I'm doing right now too.
Yes, I need to watch your first one in replay, because it was at 3 a.m. in my time, unfortunately.
Yeah, so you had to, so yesterday
I had to sleep, sorry.
So 11 a.m. Saturdays, Eastern Standard Time. I did my first workshop for an hour on self-care, 5 steps of self-care. This Saturday will be 5 steps of self-love. And then the following Saturday will be 5 steps of self-healing. And then also we're working on a membership site just for those who want to really understand more about, just more of an intimate group for us women who are we talk about spiritual, health and wellness, career, money, all those things that so we can support each other and build ourselves up within that. So yeah, I'm really excited. So yeah, that's what we're working on. But I did want to leave you ladies with one last message from source. I pulled a couple of affirmation cards.
Yes, please. I love an affirmation card. Yes.
So we have a couple of them here. So we have abundance. Okay. And it reads, Divine Beloved, please show me how to feel fully deserving to receive. I release my ego's plan and open to being a vehicle for abundance. Okay.
Love it.
Love it. I just love how these cards always come back to what we've been talking about. Yeah. And then we have self-sufficiency. It says the ultimate self-sufficiency is relying on God. Absolutely. It doesn't mean in a cave and saying, I don't need people. Instead, it's saying, God is my source, and I'm willing to receive all the help, love, and support that wants to come. Okay?
I love that. Yes, because we live in such a society that it's just the way it is. It's God, we live in a society that's just idolizes rugged individualism and shit. And it's not, when none of us are bloody self-made.
Right.
We
have to talk about despair too, okay?
Oh, lovely. Yes.
I need your divine intercision right now. Oh, great spirit, lift this darkness from my soul. Free me from this burden. Open me to your highest plan. May I be a peaceful vessel for your love. Okay. And then we have these little short ones that I love. They're beautiful too. And we'll end it with that. It says, the universe works fast when I'm having fun.
Yes, it bloody does.
It really does. When you're enjoying, you are celebrating the win. It's about celebrate the win.
Because so goddamn serious.
It makes like more wins come because they're like, yay, she's happy. Let's give her some more wins. Right?
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's true. The more you see the good, the more good comes to you. The more you see things to be grateful about, the more grateful things you'll have to be grateful about. That's just how it works. Oh God, thank you. Oh my God.
And finally, but not least, it said, I am the loving energy of the universe. You better know it.
We are.
You better know it. You're the loving energy of the universe. You better know it. Yes. Oh my God, this has been so much fun. So much fun with all of you.
I just honestly love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love the God through you, in you, around you, everything. Yes. So,
thank you, love. I appreciate it.
Thank you for gracing this space. Thank you to Tracy and Tanya for tuning in. Thank you to everyone who's going to watch this in replay.
And let me know when you want me to come back. I'll come back.
Absolutely. I would love. I would just love you to drop in and you could be just a single pull or single small rig, whatever you feel like doing. I'm not going to constrain you in any way. We'll figure out the tech of this, how it just happens, so that you just do it and you don't have to wait for Australia time or for Zoom. So I mean, the Zoom chat is lovely too. So we'll definitely do more of these. We can maybe approach this from a topic based. I like that. If we come up with if we come from a topic based thing first and look around it and then have a little bit, that's nice. So we'll definitely look at one of these again. But I'm also just thinking like you can just jump in and do something without having to wait for me 11 hours ahead of you or something, like, because like the timing is not always
right. But most definitely. I'm excited. It'll be fun. I'm so glad that we connected. Yay.
This is so fun. Big hugs.
Yes, virtual hug. Yes.
And girls, I just want to say, reminding you all, I am also, I'm just reminding you, you've been seeing around there on the Change of Heart program that is due to start at the end of the month. So first launch is going to be live in a dedicated group for it. Will be live modules and live Q&As, and the first launch is a 90% discount, so this will be the cheapest you're ever going to get in on it. And in the same way, it's the divine, it's the spirit, and how we show up in our relationships when we are tuned in to what is our innate well-being, and then how we show up in our relationships. And that is the whole change of heart and being a queen of your heart, because that's you are it. It's not someone else, it's us. So you seeing links, I'll do another link to that so you can sign up for that. But thank you everyone, and Kelly, love you. Into your evening with blessings and bliss, and have a restful night. And the same for anyone else who's on that side of the world, and for those on my side of the world, go forth into your day and into your week with ease and joy and happiness.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Our thoughts are not solidified, they are not permanent, they do not tell us anything about the reality that is around us. They simply tell us about our limited perception of the reality that is around us. Our emotions are coming from our thoughts. Other people and the situations that we find ourselves in are not causing the feelings that we have. And the biggest illusion that has been out there that we are all trained in, we're trained in it from kids, from religion, from psychology, from art and media and songs and everything. We are pretty much primed to believe that stuff outside of ourselves, our partners, our parents, our kids, society in general, is the thing that is causing us to feel stuff